These guys had to get their own video. These two EZAs in Vegito Blue and AGL Rose Goku Black are insanely busted. So they're getting their own video. I also forgot to do this Zamasu Goku, I believe is his name, not Goku Zamasu. I didn't get him in, and I saw that he's pretty good as well. So let's go over to Rose and Vegito Blue. So this is going to just be another kit break, and I'm going to talk about how good this unit is here. Okay, so again, like I said, these two are insanely busted Super EZAs. They did a fantastic job. All Super EZAs should be like this in my opinion, but okay, let's get over it. So of course the leader skill stays the same. He already had a 50% attack and defense raise in his super attack, so that doesn't change. So now let's get to his kit, right? His basic effect: 2 key, 200% attack and defense, 20% damage reduction, launches 2 additional attacks, each has a high chance of becoming a super. Wish it was 70% or guaranteed, but we'll take 50%, okay? It's better than 30. That's very good, and they're guaranteed now because the first one was guaranteed with a 30% chance, and the second one was a 70% chance to be an additional attack with a 30% chance to be a super. So just 2 additional attacks and each 50%, great change. He's a rainbow orb changer, 150% attack and defense when attacking. Every attack performed in the turn, he gets 30% attack. Mind you, you may say, okay, so he does his 12 key, he does his 2 additionals, and then based off of your build, he'll probably do a 4th additional attack, so it's going to be up to 120%, right? He's a counter character. Each counter counts for that. If he does 5 counters, that's an extra 150%. Obviously, the last one will be the 150%, but each counter is 30% attack. He's getting that. He's also, again, doing it 4 times pretty much every turn already. So you get 4, then you get like 5 counters. You're doing a lot of extra damage for each counter. When receiving a normal, you get 60% damage reduction. He has 80% damage reduction against normals and counters with tremendous power. This unit is insane. Now, if you stop here and be like, man, this guy is already busted, what could they possibly do to make him even more busted? This guy's weakness on release and EZA is he gets hit with a super, he just perishes instantly. When receiving a super attack, he has a 50% chance to dodge. What? Chance to evade plus 30% when HP is 70% or less. He has an 80% chance to dodge a super when HP is 70% or less. So not only is he untouchable from normals, he has a straight up 50% chance to dodge a super. He then gets an 80% chance to dodge a super if you're under 70% HP. That's crazy. Okay, so you stop there, and you're like, man, this guy is already so busted. He has more. When all allies attacking in the same turn are super class characters, or when there is a future saga ally in the same turn, you are super effective against all types. Super class allies get 40% attack and defense for 2 turns, and extreme class allies get attack and defense for 40%. He has 2 turn support and super effective. Now, if you're wondering what you should build this guy, he's a crit character still. He doesn't have crit. You want him critting on those counters, especially with this. I would give him crit additional. This is one of those characters I actually took my 3 dodge off of because he has a 50% chance to dodge a super straight up, and it could even be 80% chance. He doesn't need 3 dodge in my opinion. I've never taken off, I have rarely taken off 3 dodge of my characters before. This is one of the few characters that I have taken off the 3 dodge. I think mine in game has 26 crit, 15 additional. I think that's exactly what it is. I could get him 27 crit, but I decided 26 to get him some extra additional because I do want him doing an additional super attack. If I find out that's not a problem, I could get it back up to 27 crit, but I just don't see that 2% being too much of a difference. We're talking 52% chance to additional, or 52% chance to crit versus 54, and I'm giving up like a 6% chance to additional, so I think I'm going to keep it that way for now. And then of course he's Super Saiyan coming out, prepare for battle, power bestowed by guy, fuse fighter, open a flash fuse battle. If you want to see what he's like pre-Super Easy A, I do have that up on my channel. Go ahead and check that out after this video. It's just, you'll see it. I'll add it at the end of the video. I also have Rose as well, so keep that in mind. And then of course his linking buddies. He's gonna have good linking buddies. This is a guy to look out for, by the way. If you don't know, part 2 is gonna be GT. They leaked the Omega Shenron art in the burst mode, like the thing where you buy the OSTs with the burst mode currency. They leaked Omega's LR art, I'm pretty sure, in that. So his Dokkan event art or something like that. So this guy's 100% gonna easy A in like a few weeks, probably 3 weeks or something like that. He's easy Aing 100%. So that's a guy to look out for in this celebration. Shares 5 links with this Vegeta. If you really want to run him with this guy, you can run him with this guy. He has 5 links. And we're probably getting a new tag force, so yeah, take what you will with that information. Next we're going on to Rose. This guy is super important for the Super Bosses Rose tag team, because that team is pretty terrible. But with this guy, it should be very good. And again, this is very necessary. Super Bosses needed this kind of buff. Rose needed this. He's a great linking partner. So let's get into it. He gets 50% defense on Super already, which is one of the great things about these later Easy A's compared to like the first ones. They didn't have super attack effects, and they're not getting them because the Super Easy A's don't give you that. But these guys have super attack effects, so they're getting 50% defense on super, which is fantastic. 200% attack and defense, 20% damage reduction. All allies 3 key attack and defense plus 30%. Launches a guaranteed additional super. When receiving an attack, he gets 200% defense, so that's when he's getting hit. Or when he's targeted. So it counts. It's not you get hit and then you get your defense for the second attack. No, on that first attack, he gets 200% defense. It counts. And you get an extra 100% defense when HP 70% or less. You get 300% defense if your HP is under 70% on attack. He also gets 60% attack, up to 300 for every attack received, and crit chance, 10% crit chance up to 50. So I don't have any crit on mine now. I changed his build with the 1 stone, because you get to change each node for 1 stone. Should it be free? Yes, but I did it with 1 stone. I did change his build, took off all the crit I had, because now he gets 50% chance to crit. No reason for me to have it on there. He also gets 25% damage reduction, up to 50% per that turn. Honestly, in my opinion, I wish it was like the crit. It stays. It doesn't reset every turn. And he keeps it. I would have rather been like 10% up to 50 instead of 25% up to 50 within the turn. But still very strong. As long as that first attack isn't a super, he's going to be very good. He's going to have 55% damage reduction, then he'll have 70. When all allies attacking in the same turn are extreme class, or when there's another future saga ally, which is going to happen every time, because you're running this guy with the new Rose and Zamasu. So you're going to have the future saga category ally. You don't need to have extreme. And then this also procs their restriction, which is the same restriction where you need a future saga ally. This procs that as well. So it's a very good combo. You're gonna run this guy again. And he also, if you want to look, he shares 5 links with them. So very strong character, very good linking partner. This is exactly what we need. He guards. Super class allies get 20% crit, and then extreme class allies get 20% crit 2 turns. I wish he had the same support. I wish he had 40% attack and defense over 20% crit. But you gotta also remember he does already do this. But I do still wish he had the 2-turn support. That would be even better, because Extreme really needs some good 2-turn supports, man. But overall, very strong. Very happy with both of these Super Easy A's. They are crazy good. Are they the best Easy A's in the game? They're up there. Are they the best T-Wars? They're up there as well. Super Saiyan, Fear and Faith, Nightmare, Prepare for Battle, Dismal Future, Big Bad Bowser's Fierce Battle again. With the main unit, we're talking 60% attack, 25% defense, and 5 crit chance, and 4 key. And then with these guys, they get 65% attack, 30 defense. This unit needs to Super Easy A. I need to see a Super Easy A out of this to make this team even better. Okay. Very strong, very strong. Very happy with this EZA, or Super EZA. Let's go on to the next one. I actually saw that this guy was pretty good. His 12 key, that sucks. I do wish Super EZAs gave super attack effects, but most of these guys after a certain point are all gonna have decent super attack effects anyways. So 30% attack and defense raise on 18 key. Then he gets 158 or 159% attack and defense, physical to STR key spheres, an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super class enemies, that doesn't matter really, and then extreme class allies get 40% attack and defense. These guys have a lot of support, which is very good, like a lot of support for the Rose team, and that Rose unit also supports. 4 turns, you get 20% damage reduction. I wish this was longer than 4 turns. When there's a future enemy or all allies are extreme, you get 3 key, 40% damage reduction, and an additional super attack, which doesn't really do anything except damage. I mean, it could be useful for stages that can have their attack lowered, but there's not a lot of super hard stages that can have their attack lowered. So those additionals are essentially just purely going to be damage, okay? But it's fine, because he does get the 40% damage reduction, and with his 20% he has 60%. Again, I wish this was permanent, but we move on because he's still pretty good. You're not going to be running him like in slot 1 anyways, or even slot 2. This is a floating character, 100% is a floating character, but he is usable. For every attack received, he gets 2 key up to 10. When attacking with 12 or more key, is 159% attack and defense. 18 key, you need to make sure you're getting that. You have 159% defense. When a target enemy is stunned or HP is 59% or less, he gets 159% attack and guaranteed crit. And then after delivering a final blow, he gets 59% chance to dodge and attack and defense. If you can somehow get the final blow with this guy, he's going to be very strong with 59% dodge, 60% damage reduction, 40% support, and then it eventually go down to 40% damage reduction. But a lot of defense here, defense here, defense here, like defense here. Like again, he's gonna be very strong, and he has Godly Power, Cold Judgment, Nightmare, Dismal Future, Fear and Face, Shattering the Limit. Again, free play character, so sad, not gonna be useful. Legendary Power. Shares 5 links. Shares 5 links with the Zamasu, with 45% attack. He doesn't get defense though, which is a little bit sad. And then the Rose, he shares 4, but Rose is going to be in slot 1 most of the time anyways, and then probably like AGL Rose, Int Rose with his buff, maybe Int Fusion Zamasu, who should get an EZA, and hopefully Tech Zamasu and Goku Black get a super EZA. And then of course 30% attack with and 4 key with that guy. Very strong character. He's actually usable, which is very nice. He doesn't have big bad bosses, unfortunately. But again, pretty much everybody else on this Super Bosses team is gonna have big bad bosses. Ideally, unless you're running like Kale and Caulifla or Hit. Hit is a very good option to just have. Just because he has an Usher. He does damage, he has good defense post super, he has dodge, like he has everything. So now, I also didn't talk about these guys, and I want to talk about them. So first of all, I did see that these ones have the same kits as these ones, so I don't know what the point of this is. I'm not actually sure. They also have the same name as each other. Only the same typing ones. The same typing ones have the same kit and the same name. So not sure how that's going, but we can go into this. This is Clone Physical. Their lead doesn't matter. They get 30% attack, raise. Sounds like a stack. 30% stack. 100% defensive raise. 50% chance of super attack transforming into supreme power. Okay, so it does more damage like Buhan. As the second or third attacker, they get into physical. Start a turn. Per Future Saga category ally, they get 40% attack and defense up to 200 and 6% damage reduction up to 30. It's pretty solid for Future Saga allies. And then per Future Saga allies whose name include Clone, they get an additional attack and defense 20% up to 100 and extra damage reduction 4% up to 20. This part isn't We'll see if they're usable on the Super Bosses team. We'll see. We'll see. When the team includes all 5 extreme types, you have attacking defense 150, all allies defense for 2 turns 30%, and with 1 or more physical key sphere heat, they guard. When attacking with 12 or more key, they get 200% attacking defense and super effective. Doesn't really matter if it's super effective. A defense and support is what's going to really carry these guys, because we already have the hard hitters on the team. See their links. Dismal Future, Fear and Faith, Nightmare, Super Saiyan, Big Bad Bosses, Attack of the Clones, and Shattering the Limit. How do they link with the new LR? 4. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And I would assume it's going to be 4 for, or 5 with this guy. Okay, alright. So they're all going to have pretty much these same links and same categories, so we'll talk again, said those. Let's go to the next one. STR. 100% attack raise, 30% defensive raise. Already not the biggest fan of this. 50% chance of supreme power. Okay, that's going to be the same, I think, in all of them. Second or third attacker, physical to STR key spheres. Per Future Saga, you get 40% attacking defense up to 200. Crit chance! You don't really want crit chance on a free-to-play character to be, if you're going to like run them on the actual new LR team. So this is probably a no for me, dog. Future Saga allies who include clone, you get 30% attack up to 150. Crit chance, yeah. When a team includes all 5, you get 150% attack and defense, 150% attack and defense when attacking a superclass enemy. Guaranteed additional with 1 STR key sphere, and then 20% damage reduction, 200% attack and defense. Yeah, same link skills, same categories. Not a big fan of this one, actually. Int. 50% attack and defense raise, supreme damage. Raises allies defense by 15% for 2 turns. Hold on, this has potential already. This has potential already. Tech to int, as second or third. Per Future, you get 40% attack and defense up to 200. All allies, attack and defense 8% up to 40. You're pretty much going to be getting that if you run that, either of them all on a team or run them with the Super Bosses. Rose Zamasu team is what I'm going to call it. Per Future Saga category ally whose name includes clone, you get 20% attack and defense, extra 6% attack and defense up to 30%. So if you're running a whole full clone team, there's 70%. You might have like 1 or 2 of the clones on the actual team, so like 12 plus 40, so 52%. That could be solid. When the team includes all 5 extreme types, you can foresee enemy super attack. Okay. Recover 10% HP with 1 key sphere. Okay, so that's actually pretty good because it might not be obtainable every turn, but it doesn't really affect you that much. And then 200% attack and defense when attacking, and guard. This is pretty good. Give him 32 dodge, have him guard, and have a ton of support. He has 2-turn support. Like, guard and additional, because additional would count for this, I believe. Yeah, you get 30% 2-turn support. That's pretty good. I like this one. I like this one. So far, physical and int I like. Let's see tech. 50% attack and defense raise. Guaranteed seal. 50% chance. Okay, same thing, yeah. Changes AGL to tech. Per Future, you get 40% attack and defense up to 200. Debuff. Minus 40. Ooh. Per Future, who includes clone, you get 20% and more debuff. Ooh. All extreme types, you disrupt an enemy action. 1 or more tech keys here, you get 40% damage reduction when receiving an attack from enemy who was hit by character super. 200% attack and defense, 200% attack and defense when the target enemy is 60% or less, or attack down, defense down, stunned, or sealed. Not a big fan of the debuffer. He does have 40% damage reduction after you super attack somebody, so post super he'll have it against one enemy, but not a big fan of this one. So far I'd put this one at the end. AGL, STR to AGL, Future 40%, 200, dodge chance 50%. Hold on, this one can cook. Who's include clone, 30% defense up to 150, Chance of evading attack 4% up to 20, so 70%. When the team includes all 5 extreme types, all allies get 30% attack 2 turns, 150% defense. One key series, you could have 90% chance to dodge. That's pretty good. I don't think you're gonna run this guy with all the clones though, so you're gonna get like 50. You might only get 70%. When attacking with 12 or more key, you get 200% attack and defense. 2 additional attacks, each of which has a great chance of becoming super. Okay, this one's pretty good. I think this one's third. So if I had to put Tech and which one was the bad one? Tech and STR are probably the bottom 2. But then if I had to guess, this one would be third, and then probably either this guy or physical. Personally, and I'm thinking about them running them on the Super Bosses team. So yeah, I'm thinking Int is 1. This guy's 2. This guy's 3, and then these are both pretty bad. I guess it really depends. He gets 40% damage reduction, so we'll put him higher. Yeah, we don't really want a free-to-play unit doing crits too often. I think this is a good order. I think this is a really cool way. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, drop us off the channel. Thank you for watching. And again, these 3 super EZAs are really good. This is a very good super EZA. Like, this guy came out right after Tien, man. Like, look at this. Tien's right here. And then there's Zamasu Goku. Shout out to Omatsu. He cooked with this. The EZA so far, super EZA so far, really good. Really enjoyable. Hopefully, again, we need Int Fuse Zamasu EZA and Tech Goku Black and Zamasu Super EZA. Like, that's a must. Tech Goku Black and Zamasu are a must. We need them and Int Fusion Zamasu. But hopefully we get them. Again, thanks for watching, and with that, I'm out.